Welcome to iOS Insights, the channel for iOS app development using SwiftUI and Swift. This tutorial is based on bar charts in SwiftUI, but data for the chart will be populated using JSON that shows how to use real-time data for a chart. This is the JSON data that we'll be using. This is a JSON array that includes two attributes or properties. The attributes are the keys. For example, order count is an attribute or key, and the value for order count is 2000, and another key or attribute is product type, and the actual products are electronics, so they call this key value pairs. So at the moment there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the moment this JSON payload includes 6 records within the JSON array. So this is what we need to create. So to create this, the first thing you need to do is create a new file. So right click, hold down CTRL control key, left click, and then click on new file. And then you just scroll down and then you just select the empty file, click on next, and then you just give it the name, which is customer orders, and then click on create. And then after, when it's created, you will see you have a blank file, and you need to enter this JSON payload within the file, which is all of this. Having entered the JSON payload within your customer orders file, we need to create a class, a data manager class, that will get all of the JSON payload data. So let's do that now. So just left click within your project, and hold down the CTRL key, the control key, and then select new file, and then just choose Swift file as a new file, then click on next, and call the actual file data manager. And now what we need to do is import SwiftUI, and now we need to create a codable struct. So that's struct product codable and then type in let product type string and let order count int. So order count and product type, they're the attributes or keys that are within the customer orders JSON file, which is here. Order count and product type, they're all in the same case in lowercase. And then the next thing we need to do is create our data manager class. So it's public class data manager. And then we'll create a static method, so we don't have to create an instance of the class to get to the actual method. So static function read JSON data product. So we'll be returning back an array of products to the calling routine. Var loaded products product equals equals empty array. So what we're doing there on line 20 is that we're creating an empty array of products. So we're just like initializing the array to have an array of products. And then what we need to do here is get the actual JSON payload, which is the customer orders.json file. Get that from the resources. So to load it into the actual memory for the application, we just type in if let file URL equals bundle.main.url for resources. Customer orders, and then the extension for the customer orders file is JSON. As you can see here, I think you can see here, see the order extension, the file extension is orders.orders. And then the next thing we need to do is create a do block to capture any errors. Let data equals try data content of file URL. And that just reads the data from the file. And then let decoder equals JSON decoder. So create a new instance of the JSON decoder. Loaded products equals try decoder decode and then product.sell. So what that means is that we want to decode the JSON payload as an array. That's what that means, the brackets, to decode it as an array. And also the decoder will be expecting an array of JSON from data. So it passes the JSON data into an array of product objects. And then we need to catch the error, and then just like display a little error message on the console. JSON data, and display the actual error. And then what we're doing now is return the array to the user. Let's see if this compiles. Well, there's an error there on line 25. Oh, there's a spelling mistake. That should be contents of and not content. So you need an S at the end of content. There should be an S there. Let's compile it now. Oh, there's another error because we need to create our bar chart view. So let's just create a blank bar chart view. So that's a SwiftUI file. So just go into the project, click on new file, select SwiftUI, and then add the name of the file, which is called bar chart view. And now this won't be complaining because it's expecting a bar chart view and not a content view. So let's compile it now. Oh, there's still an error somewhere. Data, let data equals try data, contents of, contents should be a small c, so that should be a small c. Compile it again. Yeah, good, that compiles. And remember, this is what we're aiming for. So as you can see, home decor, food, clothing and electronics, sports and books. All of that data is coming from the JSON file. As you can see, 15,200, that's home decor. 5,000 is food, and books is 500. So that's what we're aiming to do. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to create you're just thinking what else we need to create. Yeah, we need to create our bar chart view model class, our SwiftUI file. So what we'll do, we create a brand new file again. So hold down the control key, CTRL, and then left click on the mouse, select new file, select SwiftUI, click on next. Enter the name, which is called bar chart view model. Click on create. and then we don't need the preview. And for the view, we don't need that view, so just rename that to observable objects. And the purpose of the bar chart view model is to manage the data and logic for the view. And let's delete lines 11 to 13 and then create another variable called @published. @published var products product. And the purpose of the @published products variable is that it will create an array or hold an array of products. And also with struct we need to rename that as class. And then the next thing we need to do is create an initializer which is called init, and create a method called fetch products, private function fetch products, and then type in products equals data dot read JSON data. So what that will do, it will read all of the JSON product data into the products array, which is in here. Oh yeah, that should be data manager, as we are calling the static variable that we created earlier, which is here. The static variable, I'll just go to the definition, which is here, static function read JSON data. And then to initialize the function to be called, we just type in fetch products. So as soon as the bar chart view model instance is created, it will call this initializer. Here, this is the initializer. The initializer has one function that will be called, that's called fetch products. That will then contain an array of products by calling read JSON data method from the data manager class. So the next thing we need to do for the view model is have a function called function getHeight. And the purpose of the getHeight function is to calculate the height of each of the bars within the bar chart, and also to set the maximum height to each bar. So that's what we're going to do now. Get height for value int max value int returns a CG float data type. Let max height CG float is equal to 200 pixels. Let percentage is equal to CG float value. And then what else do we need to do? Return percentage times by max height. I've forgotten something else on line 24. We need to calculate the percentage, we need to divide it by the max value. So what we do there is type in CG floats max value. So what this function really does is that it calculates and returns the bar height. So let's compile it now. It compiles. And then the next thing we need to do is do the actual bar chart view functionality. So the bar chart view functionality is, or the actual bar chart view is this. And that's what we'll do next week. Thank you for joining us. If you found this tutorial helpful, please comment, like and subscribe. See you next week.